Hey, thank you guys for joining us again on the Process of Purpose podcast. This is the breakthrough segment with Robert Daniel
and Frank Venegas.
The second and only.
The second and only. That's correct.
Junior. So again, guys, thank you guys for being on. We're going live on Facebook right now. We're going to later put this on YouTube and then on the podcast app. And then we're also live on Instagram. So thank you guys for joining us. Again, guys, quick reminder, turn on the notifications when we go live. So you know when we're coming on. And so you guys can join us and, just interact and do all that good stuff. So thank you guys for being on. Again, we're doing this to help inspire and motivate people to find their purpose through the process of spirituality, health, and wealth, using godly principles and values to break through to the life that God has called us to live.
Come on, somebody.
Bro, that was the best one, I think, so far. I think ever. I think that was the best one ever, dude. But guys, today, yes, we are talking about gratitude.
Yep. Today's focus is gratitude.
Did I say that a little early? No, we're good.
No, we're good. We're
all
solid.
right, awesome. So, guys, really quick, I gotta stop saying really quick. But we had over 650 listens last time I checked on our podcast app. Like I said last time on the process segment, that's huge, right? That's
sure
huge
is.
because this is actually on the app. So we have to go out of our way to go on the actual app and listen to the podcast. My mic's bugging me a little bit.
Cousin's eating his microphone.
Yeah. So we have that going on right now. So thank you guys all for the support. You guys are super amazing. Also, I kind of want to talk about LeBron coming to LA. I want to know
LeBron James to the Lakers.
I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. I want to read these after because these are going to be interesting. What do you think, Frank?
I think LA needed that.
Mm-hmm.
What we definitely did not need was this heat, but we'll go with it.
I know. Susan didn't even...
Susan's actually going to be fired pretty soon. She's actually been dropping the ball. But yeah, LeBron James, Los Angeles Lakers.
It's still
Let's
kind
go.
It's kind of hard to believe still, right?
It kind of is.
Like I think about it like, bro, the best player in the world, LeBron James, is on the Lakers now. That's super exciting. Maybe we could get him on the podcast.
Yeah, we're actually
right here.
I messaged him a little while ago. He doesn't text me back yet.
Right here, he's probably shooting around, bro.
No.
Yeah,
we're just gonna believe that.
Don't expect the text back. Here, we could join us right here on Nathan's bed.
Yeah, that my cousin almost broke before we started shooting.
I had to hop over the bed to actually get to like my location. He's like, "Bro, what are you doing?"
Tell me why this 225-pounder just stepped on my son's little bit.
223 pounds.
Thank you very much. That was pretty accurate, huh?
Yeah, that was pretty good. I'm glad you didn't go like 230, bro. I would have been pretty sad. I'm like, dude, you haven't been watching my stuff, dude. All right, dude. Thanks for being so supportive. All right.
Let's know I'm fat.
dude. That was really aggressive. I'm a little self-conscious.
You look great.
I know.
Face is a moneymaker.
It's the beard. Yeah, this is a moneymaker right here. Yeah, what are we gonna talk about today, Frank?
Gratitude. You kind of said that a little earlier, but we're gonna be focusing on gratitude today. Really, like me and my cousin had talked, there's a lot of distractions that go on.
Yeah.
We compare ourselves to others a lot, and on our walk to our purpose, it gets really fogged up, and it's real easy to not be in a state of gratitude.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of touching on that, and just touch up on some things that really help us break through to becoming more of a grateful person, even when things are tough. And what works for us, and if it works for you guys, great. And if you guys have some thoughts for us or some pointers, shoot them on over.
Yeah. So if you guys know anybody that's not so grateful all the time, tag them in this video,
please.
Yeah, let them know. Do it for everybody, because we have some negative people out there, or maybe not just so negative. They're just not
focusing on the right things. Is what it is.
Or being little complainers. Yeah, that's like my little pet peeve, man. We got little complainers, and I've done it before too. But if you got little complainers, tag them in it, and we'll show them, or we'll let them know what gratitude is. Because again, there's a lot of things going out there. We talked about social media a couple of times already.
Right.
There's we try to compare ourselves to famous people, and we try to, even myself sometimes, man, I'm thinking like, dude, like, this guy Gary Vee is just like, he's living the life. He's doing what he wants. He's like, he loves it. And I'm like, man, so am I.
Yep.
Like, I'm doing the thing right now, right?
Yep.
So yeah, we're definitely be going over that. And actually, we want to talk about like, just in that, like, you know, comparing ourselves to others, that a lot of times it's hard to be grateful because we compare ourselves and we're really result oriented.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that word right?
Result oriented.
Oriented.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Oriented.
We're not being graded here.
Yes, but we should be process oriented.
Right. I honestly, you kind of just threw that in last minute. I want to know what you mean by that. I want to know what Robert Daniel thinks what that means.
You know what? Because I was thinking, even, you know, when I first started doing real estate, it was really hard to get going, really tough. And so, I mean, it was either one thing, you know, I was going to just push through, which I did, or I was going to give up. But during that process, it was really hard to be grateful. Really, really hard to be grateful because I wasn't getting any results. So the whole time I was focusing on what am I getting, or what is there to show for it, instead of being grateful for all the things that I have had around me, like getting married,
right?
Proposing. Like, I proposed and I had no money. I didn't have a job. I didn't have a license, and I proposed. Not a license to drive, but a license to sell real estate, and I proposed. So like, instead of focusing and, you know, saying thank you God for, you know, even having the money to buy the ring, or just being happy, like, hey, you know what, I'm glad I'm going through this tough time right now because it's making me a stronger person. So I was really focused on, okay, I haven't sold any houses this year. I had, you know, so that like it kind of like got me in this place where like I didn't have the confidence.
Right. And it's real easy to, when you feel like all those stuff are going wrong, it's real easy to let that weigh in and just bring you down.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because I mean, like, man, I felt like kind of like I wasn't providing, or like I wasn't doing the right things to provide, even though I was doing not all the right things, but I was doing right things that were getting me to where I wanted to be, or to get to the results. But I was being like, I was feeling sorry for myself, man.
Yeah.
I was feeling sorry for myself because I felt like, man, God, like I'm serving, you know, I'm worshiping you, I'm doing all this stuff, like, but why can't I just have the results? Like, I just wanted the results without really earning them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then once the sales started coming in, yes, here comes, like, I was able to walk with my head up high a little bit more. So, but it shouldn't be that way.
Right.
We should be grateful for what we're going through and the person who we're becoming because of it.
Right. Because there's more, I see it as there's more value actually being served while you're in that struggle, rather than when you actually have that sale become an actual sale. I mean, yes, you got paid out, but the value is truly in the process when you're in that gutter, because you're becoming a better version of yourself. Does that make sense? So there's more value as a person that you can take, because that money is, I mean, it's gonna go where it's gonna go, but the person you're becoming is far beyond.
Ooh, that's good.
Far beyond that commission check.
Yeah, because even once I get the commission check, like, you know, half of it goes to taxes. so like, if you, like, I don't even see most
Thank
of
you,
that
IRS. You're the best.
Thank you, Uncle Sam. You jerk. I was gonna say another word. Good thing jerk came out instead. I was thinking something else in my head though.
Yeah, that's fine.
We won't go through that. I even forgot where I was actually gonna get to because I thought of other things, but yes, the money. Once it got there, like, I didn't even care for it. Like, once I got the result that I was actually looking for, it wasn't really important to me.
Right.
Because, like, I was like, all right, I got it, cool. Like, on to the next. Like, so like the whole time I was worrying about getting that certain result, instead of being like, man, I'm so grateful I'm actually doing real estate, or I have the opportunity where I didn't have income for 6 months or so, or 6 to 8 months, I think.
I hear you.
Besides, like, doing, like, you know, Lyft and selling cars on the side and stuff, which I don't ever want to do is sell cars anymore. Doesn't it, like, hurt your stomach?
It does hurt my stomach thinking about it, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's just, like, makes you cringe a little. But that was another process that I was actually grateful for too. Right.
You know what? Yeah, because I'm going to talk real quick about Map Auto. So just for those who don't know, me and my cousin were in business before. Map Auto was our company. long story short, we sold car parts: doors, hoods, bumpers, engines, transmissions, all that good stuff. We spent a lot of times in private yards, junk yards, a lot of driving from the IE to San Diego to LA, all that good stuff. But in that, like, literally, we were in junkyards. Like, I don't think there's anywhere worse than a junkyard in Wilmington.
Oh, Wilmington's the worst. Every time I hear the word Wilmington, I want to throw it.
Or even what was the other one? Riverside. Just hot. There's like no shade, no trees. There's just nothing but cars.
The hill,
and then cliffs.
You got to walk up the hill
and boots.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so in those moments, we had a lot of choices to make. Him and I, because we spent a lot of time in the truck driving, and he spent more time unloading engines because I just didn't. But there was a lot. We could have easily focused on all at the time the sales that weren't falling through, or we could have focused on the actual progress we were making as people. Because of that, I think him and I both have grown as individuals because of that grind.
Yeah.
Because of all that that crap we had to go through, BS we had to go through, because it was a rough gig. That auto industry, let me tell you, that's a very competitive industry. And being for who we are and dudes that you kind of just stepped on into an industry we had no idea about, we came out a little bit better than I think the way we walked in.
Yeah.
And we could have easily said, "Hey, bro, that was terrible. Never do it again. Worst mistake we ever made."
Well, I won't, but
yeah. Well, yeah. But would you agree with me that we became better people for it, though?
Yeah, and you know what's funny that you say that, because I'm actually grateful for that whole process that we went through, because we started. I started building a relationship with my dad,
right,
that I never had, right? So that, like, instead of looking at like, man, I hate doing this. Why did I quit my full-time job with full benefits, 401k, all that good stuff, right? Somewhere where I was comfortable. I had a great schedule, 6 to 2:30. Like, it doesn't get any better than that, right? To go work at a freaking junkyard, or not at a junkyard, but work at different junkyards selling parts and all that good stuff. And then I look back and I'm like, man, I'm so grateful for that time, because I mended a relationship that I never had with my dad.
Right.
Like, it was never there. Like, we used to do like the awkward, like, hand hug type of.
If anyone's watched Step Brothers, remember when the brothers shake hands and like they're like, I give him a hug. That was my cousin and my uncle.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, and it literally was that. Like, I would like go in and he would like go for the hug, and then I'd go for the hug and he'd go for the handshake. I'm like, man, we cannot get this together.
Yeah.
So I really think that God allowed us to go through that time for really me. I mean, for us to learn a lot of lessons, but at the same time, it was for me to like mend that relationship. Now I could call my dad and have a cool 25-30 minute conversation with him, and before I couldn't.
Right.
Yeah, we couldn't do that. And then I started thinking about like all the times that we had to drive, and but all the good, just conversations that we had. We were talking about goals and what we wanted to do. We had a huge vision with Map Auto. It ended up working out, but we learned a lot, and we learned how to kind of just pull back a little bit and say, hey, you know what? Is this what we really want for our lives? It wasn't.
Right.
Even you guys are not gonna believe it. There's a day where I actually drove with my grandpa, or with our grandpa, all day. Literally, bro, all day. I picked them up. So from South El Monte, I went to East LA. From East LA, we went to Chula Vista. So Chula Vista, if you guys don't know, it's right on the border of Mexico.
Right.
Like on the other side of San Diego. Chula Vista, it's not happening over there. We went all the way from Chula Vista to Riverside of the Hill, to Bloomington, where we were at. From Bloomington all the way to Sun Valley.
Gee whiz.
So Sun Valley, that's San Fernando Valley, right? We went all the way to Sun Valley, loaded up more, and it was raining.
Nice.
Loaded up more engines.
I wasn't there, so.
Yeah. And then back to East LA to South El Monte.
Right on.
But instead of like complaining about the whole thing, because I didn't get paid for that day because I was helping my grandpa out, I was like, man, I had some really good conversations with grandpa.
Yeah.
Like, they were super, like, I didn't know a lot of things that, like, he told me. A lot of things I didn't want to know. A lot of things he was telling me, I'm like, whoa, Grandpa,
you did what?
Yeah. You're a sick man.
And that's how you're here, grandson.
And that's how your daddy came.
Right on.
Yeah. So, yeah, we kind of went off on that one, huh?
We kind of did.
Yeah, we haven't even got to the questions yet.
We haven't.
No, so that's good. So, what about for yourself? Like, have you ever felt like you were result oriented, or instead of actually enjoying the process?
Definitely. Sales. I'm very well been in sales for a good amount of time. There's family time at home. Same thing, process oriented. So I guess what I can talk about is as a husband or as a dad.
Daddy.
Right away, obviously, we all want our kids to be already have manners and already respectful and already, saying thank you, please, no thank, all that good stuff. And the same thing with your relationship. You kind of expect it to be a certain way. Hey, babe, when we're out doing this, this is the way we're supposed to respond, And then I guess going back to what Robert's asking about result-oriented and process-oriented, we're not going to get that from the jump. It takes time, and it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of intentionality, a lot of patience, because you're not going to just automatically show up and it's all the way you imagine your beautiful, crisp cut pictured family. It takes time, and it takes mistakes, and it takes kind of going back and reflecting on things. And for me, it was a little bit of a challenge, not because my wife was wrong or my son was wrong, is because I was impatient as a person, and because
not my cousin.
as a person, you expect, because as a responsibility, you expect things to be a certain way, because that's when you're result oriented. You want it to be the way you have it in your head already, but you forget about the process that's required in there, and that's where the beauty happens. That's when you start, okay, let me actually sit down and let me actually listen to what my wife or to my son have to say. Or if you're not married, let me listen to whatever relationships you have around you. Let me listen, and that's where you start actually recognizing what falls in where, because I know I did. I had a huge realization. It's like, okay, hey, this is going to take time. I'm not going to have my lake house right away. I'm not going to have, X amount of dollars in my savings account right away.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be this person to my family yet, because I'm a huge giver. I love giving. My goal is to just have a ranch for my family that can come over Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that good stuff. But I'm not going to have that right away. It's going to take time. It takes becoming a better person, and working your way up. And that process is where all the beauty happens. Yeah. So if I stay result oriented, I can stay anxious and impatient and upset more than I could be in the emotion of actually being grateful for where I'm at, for where we've came from. If that makes sense.
And aren't you grateful that talking about like respect and manners, like your mom was like a real like stickler on that, right?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Like say mande, and like what does that mean?
It's
like, excuse me.
It's just exactly.
Excuse me.
More of a polite way to say what? What did you say?
What has she said?
What has she said? Stop it. What did she said? Yeah, you did. She did. You're right. And that's another thing to be grateful for, because in a lot of households now, and this is something I'm pretty proud to say. I'm the oldest of five siblings.
They don't have TVs.
Yeah. My mom and dad were busy. I have 3 brothers and 1 sister, but me and my brothers growing up, we never dropped any type of bad words in our house ever, and that was just out of respect of my mom and dad, and that is just a huge thing nowadays, because I've had friends that I go over to their house or walk into someone's house and they're like calling their little sister this and that, or little brother this and that, and you just when you see someone else kind of doing things the way they do it, and then the way you kind of do things in your household, you're like, okay, that's something to be grateful for. I'm going to hold on to that, and I'm going to make sure that goes further than just in my household.
Yeah, so it's good. And then we're going to do like a little Q&A as well. Some of the questions do kind of overlap themselves. So
a little bit.
If we feel like they do, then we'll just kind of move on to the next one. But do you want to start off with the first one?
Yeah, if the questions suck, my cousin did them. But if they're great, we both worked on them.
He literally has them right here.
All right, dude. Don't be exposing my notes, okay?
Dude. 2018, jeez.
Okay, so I'll start this one off for you.
Okay.
How are you grateful in the hard times when absolute nothing looks like it's going right?
Well, kind of like we said, like now that I'm starting to know that, hey, enjoy the process. Kind of like what Joel Embiid says, trust the process.
Oh, that dude from the NBA, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure, pretty sure I just like did that really bad.
It's okay. You
But-
sound like the Terminator, but that's fine.
Well, he kind of does sound like,
all you do now.
but yeah, no, being grateful in the hard times, it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do because you can easily be like, man, I need these things. Like,
Yeah.
I why don't I have them? Like, I feel like I'm doing everything right. And at the same time, like, you got to just kind of sit back and be like, man, what do I have?
Mm-hmm.
What do I have going on for me? I have my health.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I was a little overweight, I have my health still. I can walk, right? Kind of like, have you ever seen, well, I know Elaine Bonin said this one time. He talked about, like the guy that he's like in a BMW. He looks at Ferrari. He's like, man, I wish I had a Ferrari. And the guy in like a Corolla looks at me like, man, I wish I had the BMW. And then the guy in, the broken down car looks at him. Is like, man, I wish I had a working Corolla. And then the guy on the bus, man, I wish I had that car, the broken down one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy on the bike says, man, I wish I had I messed that up. It's the guy on the bike says, man, I wish I had that beat up Corolla.
Yeah.
And then the guy on the bus goes, man, I wish I had a bike to get around.
Right.
And then the guy walking says, man, I wish I had money for the bus. Right? And then the guy in the wheelchair says, man, I wish I can walk.
Mm-hmm.
And so like it just kind of, you have to be like grateful where you're at, because it's easy to like, yeah, man, I wish I was this person, I wish I was doing that, but like, man, you got to kind of sometimes pull yourself back a little bit and say, hey, this is what do I have, what can I be grateful for?
Right.
There is absolutely something. You can't say like, no, there's nothing grateful in my life. What?
Yeah.
No, there is. I mean, even when I had nothing, I was grateful that I actually had a car still.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I was making the payments on that car, even though I had to give it up. So that's the way I see it now. Even, the hard times now, I have to keep reminding myself, hey, it's a process. I have to kind of like sit back and think like, hey, what can I be grateful for? Like really think about it. What can I say? Hey, I'm grateful for this, right? Even if it's my gym membership that I pay $30 a month for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm grateful I have that gym membership because there's a lot of people out there that don't have the gym membership. They say, hey, they go to the lake and they're doing like that twirl thing. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And then like, imagine you have to wait in line for that machine
Yeah.
at Lake. Like, that sucks. But yeah, that's, I'm starting to learn that now.
That was a pretty good little hip movement, by the way.
Yeah, that was. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know
right?
exactly what
Or
you're
then
talking
they do like the leg one.
Yeah, usually the kids fall off of that one.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Nathan's probably fallen off a couple of times, right?
All right, I'll bring my son into this.
Don't you dare. But yeah, man, that's during the hard times, that's kind of what I look forward to is, okay, what can I be grateful for?
Mm-hmm.
How about yourself? How do you how to be grateful in hard times when nothing's looking right?
Well, I'm going to start with this. There's actually something that you have already, whoever's listening to this, that people wish they had.
Mm-hmm.
And we just give it a little shoulder, like, get out of here. I don't need that. And there's people who just are dying wishing that they had what you had in your possession.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of just we allow ourselves to focus on the things that are not going right, which does not let us appreciate the things that are going right. And like what we mentioned earlier, it's really easy to allow that to happen, because when stuff's not going right, you just want to be mad. You just want to be mad, and you want to just focus on things that are going wrong, and it kind of fills you. It's just like an emotion that you want to just kind of keep making it feel good, and because it feels good, and we don't know that it feels good, but it feels good to just kind of be a little upset, to be a little fired
negative.
up. Yeah, a little negative. But it's easy to steer in that direction if we don't have our eyes locked on the right thing. For me, I kind of lost myself in the question there. Sorry.
Right here.
So how am I grateful
in the hard times when nothing looks right?
I know for me, I guess I can use when I didn't have a car. Going back because Robert mentioned that I didn't have a car, and I think I mentioned this before. We were sharing one car, and I learned to actually appreciate the communication that me and my wife had. appreciate our bond a little bit more, our relationship a little bit more, because I understood the sacrifice behind us just sharing one car, knowing that we both had a job and we had a son to provide for. It's easy to be upset when your transportation's attacked, because it leads to a lot of opportunity. And I remember being upset. I remember being really upset and letting that negative energy, kind of take over me once in a while. But for me personally, I think just focusing on the right stuff just kept pulling me out of that gutter, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And then share about, what's actually a pretty cool story is that person that came to buy that car from Grandpa.
Oh man.
Kind of you didn't have a car at the time, right? Once you're selling that car, you still didn't have one?
No, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's actually a good one.
Yeah, so to make a long story short, I was borrowing my grandpa's Scion, and it was like the last couple of days, and my grandpa needed the car sold, and I was responsible for selling it. So this young couple contacted me, not Craigslist offer up, I'm not sure. They contacted me. At first I thought they were kind of just fluffing up and, just kind of messing around. And then they seemed like they were a little more serious. The missed calls, I would call them back. And then I finally started talking to both the wife and the husband. I can tell they were younger. And then they were making their way from a little bit past Riverside. They were driving from over there. And then they're like, oh, we'll meet you later in the evening. I was all right, evening's here. Nothing. 6:30 comes, 7 o'clock comes, nothing. And I'm trying to call back that phone number. I'm like, why is this phone number not answering me anymore? What's up? So I left it at that. And I kind of just blew it off. And then I get a call like 30 minutes later from another phone number. Oh, we're on our way. We were taking care of some stuff before we got there. Are we still good to meet? So met him down the street. Met up with him. He was trying to haggle me for like the price, trying to bring it down a little bit more. And I was like, I can't. My grandpa wants this and nothing less. And then so he agreed, and then they got closer. They were like in the Covina area. That hey, we had to make one last stop. Honestly, the price you're asking for, we don't have it. But on our way here, we sold a few things, and then they sold like their baby stroller, and then I think like an old car seat. And then they sold some furniture, and then
a phone, right?
And okay, so then when we pulled up, they came in, we test drove the car. I was just kind of talking to them, and they were young, really young. I can tell that the husband was just in pretty bad shape. I can tell he was, emotionally a little bit beat. I can see his baby girl in the back car with his wife, and they were given a ride. I found out that they didn't personally drive there in their own car. Their cousin actually drove them from Riverside to meet me over here. And, sold them the car. They gave me the cash. We just decided to meet them at a certain dollar amount just so the car can move out. And I said, hey, man, you by any chance looking for work? He's like, yeah, I am looking for work, actually. Why? Who do you know? So I said, okay, sounds good. I'll get you this position. Let me take your phone number. I said, I'm just going to call you back at that phone number. Save my number. He said, oh, no, you can't call me at that phone number anymore. I was like, oh, why not? He's like, well, on our way here from Riverside, I sold that phone so I can have money for the car we just bought. And I remember I just lost it. I'm even getting emotional right now talking about it because it's hard, And I just remember immediately I seen me and my wife in there.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see just like putting yourself in that position, be like, man. Yeah, man. They had to get a right to get over here, and they had to sell their phone, and they even said that they were going to come back and bring you more money and things that they probably couldn't do, right? So even though that Frank didn't have a car himself, he still had to, say, hey, I'm actually grateful that we do have the one car that we have to share. These people are selling like their whole life to get enough to sell. I mean, to buy the car that they need, and I mean, who knows what type of condition the car might have been in,
Right.
And so,
and I'll tell you this, it just worked out somehow where within like the next, I think, not kid you not, within the next week and a half, mind you, just there's a little backstory to that. My wife had gotten in a car accident about maybe 3 weeks before that, maybe a month before, and maybe about a week after, we actually received an insurance check from the car she crashed, that she was, that she had gotten in a car accident with, and that check was way more, way more than what was actually given. And within a week later, my wife and I had brand new cars. I mean, like, I don't know how that works out. I mean, you do the math, but we had
see me rolling.
Yeah, not to boast, but that was like the first time we ever had brand new cars.
Yeah.
And it was just awesome. I went from talking about gratitude. I went from like I was in that Scion, and I'd turn the AC on, the heater would be cracking. I'm like, what's going on here? That's not. I went blue. I went blue, not red. What's going on here? And then to like a car, I was like, man, this AC is cranking. That's actually kind of hurting my head. I'm gonna drop that down a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's just. I could have easily been like, bro, you don't have the cash, peace out, man.
Yeah.
But I chose to be like, you know what? I've been blessed with this car way longer than I should have. My grandpa let me use this car way longer than I should have. I'm going to return the favor. I'm just so grateful that he's actually been letting me use this car. It's a 2-door car, and I was driving my family around with it, and driving my family around in the car for a bit. And I was like, you know what? No, this guy needs it. And so that transaction happened, and I just remembered from then on, just things, God's amazing. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, no, that was good. Thank you for sharing that story, man, because kind of puts everything in perspective. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what you're going through, again, we don't want to compare ourselves, but someone's actually going through something probably worse, man. Mm-hmm. And you should just be grateful for where you're at, and just know that you're blessed. Because we're in America, we're in California.
Yeah, we are.
You know what I mean? There's people out there that don't even have water. You can literally go to a Starbucks and say, "Hey, can I have a cup of water?" And they'll give you a cup of water with ice.
Yeah.
And they'll do it, and they don't care. They don't think twice about it. They're like, well, I don't know if we're gonna run out of water, so I don't know if I could give you this. No, they're gonna give it to you because we are blessed, and we should be grateful for stuff like that. So I think we covered actually most of these just in those little stories that we spoke about. We'll go over this last one. That one's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
So
I'll ask it for you. So, how does your life look today compared to the way it did a year ago? We'll just go a year back.
Yeah.
A year ago, and how are you actually thankful for those changes? Because a lot can happen in a year. Let me tell you, my wife is pregnant right now, and within like a month, I'm like, whoa,
you did it.
You are pregnant. Nice stomach. I like it. So for you, within the last year, how does your life look different? And through all of that, like you shared already, you've had some ups and downs, but what changes are you actually... Excuse me, I just burped. That's gross. What are you thankful for?
Just, you are really no, you really are disgusting. Turn white chicks.
Yeah.
Jason always says this, so whatever, dude. He always says it, so it's funny.
No one knows
my brother-in-law. That's my brother-in-law. You have some respect. But yeah, no. It's actually really different. Just my mindset alone. Really different. I'm actually enjoying the whole process now. I mean, at the same time, I'm getting results now. So back then, I wasn't. I wasn't getting any results. If I look back to a year, I wasn't even at my office that I'm at now. Mm-hmm. So I'm super thankful for the office that I'm actually in now. The results that I've been getting, just the podcast. I'm super grateful that we actually started it, because it's something that we've been talking about and just not doing. Mm-hmm. And then, obviously my marriage is just like, that's probably the biggest thing. Like, I'm just super grateful that we didn't know how we were going to do it. We didn't know where we were going to live. We didn't know how we were going to get the money. But God just provided over and over and over. And then, my wife likes to, she's more of the worry bug, if anything. And
my cousin-in-law, she's awesome.
And I just kept saying, like, hey, God's going to take care of it. God's going to take care of it. And the flesh kind of wants to think like, no, like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean?
Right.
And back in my head, like, I played it cool, like, but back in my head, I'm like, shoot, what am I gonna do? Because I put up a good front for the moment. So I'm just super thankful for like all that stuff that just happened, literally from last June or July, really, to this July. Like, It's been just, so many blessings, so many things to be grateful for, so many lessons learned, meeting so many cool people. So, like, if you actually put it in, like, that perspective, like, hey, what have you seen in the last year? You're like, bro, it's a lot.
Right.
Like,
it could be a little overwhelming, like, in a good way. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
This overwhelming feeling of joy.
Yeah, like dude, like we've actually accomplished a lot in the last year, and it doesn't like seem like it, but at the same time, now that like I actually like I'm sitting down and actually thinking about it, like I have so many things to be grateful for.
Right.
Even though I still wish I had my Camaro. But yeah,
Salty still.
nah, that I had to go. For you Camaro fans, it had to go. But yeah, man, that's I'm truly thankful for all that, and then just getting myself back in shape.
Right.
That's another thing, and then just having a savings. It always feels good to have a savings. So.
That's good stuff, man. That's
Yeah.
real good stuff.
What about for you? How is your life different than it was a year ago?
Like you're saying.
How can you be thankful for those changes? Let me finish.
Oh, sorry, I cut you off. I was excited to answer. Like you said, a lot has changed. A lot of things can happen in a year. First thing I would like to is my wife's obviously pregnant within a year. We had a miscarriage within a year. And we got cars within a year. But I think that the things that are most meaningful to my family, obviously the pregnancy, that's awesome. But it's just the relationships that we've just started building with people. And it's just crazy how God works, where the most random people will just end up in your life.
Yeah.
And it seems random, but God's already got it under control. He knows what's going on. He knows why that relationship is in your possession. So I know for us, without really being 100% intentional about it, we were planting a lot of seeds, my wife and I. Planting a lot of seeds, not knowing that serving at church was gonna help propel us in certain areas, joining certain groups with certain individuals and help propel our marriage.
Nice.
Spending times in certain areas individually and as a relationship and as a couple has really propelled us far beyond we could even imagine. Like a lot of now, a year ago I didn't have it, and now there are people that I can just turn to for like almost anything. It's crazy to say that, but like almost anything I can turn to them, and they're there in a heartbeat, and it's outside of family. Because I know my family's got me, but that's outside of family. People who just become family by choice. Like I tell Robert, lately my family has been just randomly blessed lately, where like in finances and materialistic things and just time invested in us, and it's like, why what did we do to get this? Like, and then this question helps bring that out. It's like, well, we planted these seeds a year ago,
Yeah,
so we're thankful that we chose to invest our time in those areas, even at the time where it kind of seemed pointless. Like, well, what are we doing? But you just have no idea what being a good person, or you don't know who's watching.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you have no idea who's watching. And just I'm talking like before our little honeymoon, our little vacation, we were just blessed with things to help take care of our honeymoon. And then
Nice.
just recently, like, people just saying, here's this, have that. Oh, and just so you know, you're going to be getting random phone calls from me, inviting you over for dinner, or because I have a gift for you and your family. It's like, okay, I don't know what to do with that. Don't worry about it. There's nothing that you do with it. Just return the favor and just love on people. That's all you got to do.
I say thank you.
Say thank you. That's it. And I've heard somewhere, I used to have a little bit of a challenge with taking things from people.
Yeah.
Because it's like, no, I got it. I don't worry, I got it. I can figure it out by myself. I don't need help. But I've heard somewhere, and it kind of just sunk in. It's like when someone offers you a helping hand, you're actually, if you tell them no or you reject the blessing that they're trying to offer to you, you're actually cutting them short of their own blessing.
Yeah.
So I've learned to kind of switch my perspective on that, because I love giving, and I've also been on the receiving end. And I feel and I understand how good it is to be on that receiving end, and which is why whenever it says, hey, someone says we're gonna bless you, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna surrender, and now if you're gonna bless me, I'm gonna allow you to bless me. But more so, I use it as a good energy, because I allow it to inspire me that much more, because I know in turn I'm gonna do the same exact thing for as many people as I possibly can.
Good.
And it may be financially, it may be with time, it may, whatever it may be. I just know I'm going to return it, which is why I'm able to receive it.
Yeah. I still struggle with that.
It's hard.
Yeah, because
It's hard, especially especially as a man. We're raised to be, hey, now we'll hold the fort down. We got this. Yeah, serious. No, really, that's what you're like. You got that testosterone, that ego, and it's hard. It takes effort. A lot of this stuff takes effort, and we just can't cut ourselves short. Sometimes.
Yeah.
We gotta be okay with being helped.
That's good, man. I think we're gonna wrap it up here. I think that was really good, right? Yeah, that was actually good. One thing, guys, before we do go, I really want to encourage you guys is to start practicing being grateful.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's just writing it down, writing 3 things down once you wake up and just say, hey, I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for my salvation. Whatever the case is, start your day with that. And you'll see the difference within your day and how much more you're going to get done because you're like, man, I'm grateful for my wife. I really want to provide for her. I'm grateful for my life, so I'm not going to waste it.
But believe it.
Yeah, no,
believe
definitely.
It in your heart.
And declare it. Declare it, because that's what I do almost every single morning. And even though I don't want to do it sometimes, I don't want to be grateful sometimes. I'm going to the gym. And I'm like, man, I woke up late again. I'm mad because I know I'm going to just be at the gym for 2 hours, whatever the case is, because that's all I like doing, be an hour and a half. But while I'm going there and I'm about to get there and I'm like telling myself that I'm not going to be grateful right now, I'm not going to say anything, I just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Usually I start off by saying, hey, I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for my relationship with Christ. I'm grateful for my salvation. I'm grateful for this gym, this car. And I just start going off, and I do more than 3, but 3 is a good start.
Yeah.
And then from there, my whole workout is just amazing. My whole day, even though I'm still a little upset that I'm starting late, it just gets me going. You know what I mean? So try practicing that, guys.
Yep. And when you feel like you're going to be upset about something, find something to be grateful for.
Yeah.
I think we all battle that, right?
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we all battle that.
Yeah, like last night, we couldn't sleep, man. I was telling you, we couldn't sleep. It was hot.
I'm grateful for AC because mine just stopped right now for some reason.
Yeah. And we have a little unit in our living room, so, but I'm grateful for that too, right? Because we can't, I'm not going to compare myself to Frank's good old AC.
All right.
Central Air. Sorry, rich boy.
Shut up.
He said, shut up.
I don't want to hear that.
Oh, that was funny. I think we're done, bro. So, guys, thank you guys again for being on here. Thank you guys for always supporting. Go give our podcast at The Process to Purpose. Mm-hmm. No, it's not The Process. It's just Process to Purpose. Go give us a 5-star review. I believe we're a little over 10 now.
Yep.
So we want to get to 100 5-star reviews.
Again, for those who have not actually went, it's in the Apple iPhone. It's the little purple icon. You just go on there, you literally search Process to Purpose, and then you'll see a picture of me and my good-looking cousin right there, and it says Process to Purpose.
Actually, no, it's just Process to Purpose. The
okay.
picture. The one that you made.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. You're right.
The one that you made.
We changed that. Anyway, click that and hit subscribe. Because once you hit subscribe, it'll actually notify you once a new episode is uploaded. And then in that case, you can listen to it in your car.
Working out.
Gym, all that good stuff.
You're doing the grass.
Cutting the grass.
You should be cutting the grass, boy.
Mr. Johnson's grass looks good.
Mrs. Johnson?
Miss Parker?
Miss Parker. Miss Parker. That's pretty bad. Okay.
Thank you, guys. I don't know my cousin was going with that one.
I'm thinking about Friday, bro.
Yeah,
it's a
Friday.
funny movie.
We love you guys, man. We're here for you guys. Again, just a reminder, we're not here for just ourselves. We're here for the community that we're trying to build. We're just here to love on people and just take this beyond where we even think it can go.
Yeah, and don't forget to turn on the notifications on the live videos. Subscribe, follow us, do all that amazing things. And if nobody loves you,
Jesus loves you.
All right, guys.